So one time there was this very beautiful tree. It had beautiful branches, and the branches had beautiful flowers and fruits. One of the branches was really beautiful. It had both flowers and fruits. And it looked at the tree and said, but this tree doesn't have any flowers, it doesn't have fruits. It is this I have. I am the branch. I have this beauty. The tree is just a log, a lifeless seeming log. So why don't I go it on my own? Why do I need this tree? I have the fruits, I have the flowers. So I'm going to go it on my own. So the branch disconnected itself from the tree. What happened then? Initially, it felt freedom. It felt that, look at me, I'm so beautiful and now I'm independent on my own. I can live in my own free will. My life is my own. I'm done with that big old tree. So initially it seemed like it was fine. Then a day went by, a few days went by, and it started noticing that even if it jumped into water, even if it jumped into food, nutrition, whatever nutrition is, its flowers were withering. Its fruits were drying up. So it tried all kinds of things. It tried self-help. It tried everything that's available for branch self-help. Tried all kinds of workshops and classes and retreats. But the withering continued to happen. Then, as it was close to losing its all signs of life, it started to recognize that it made a mistake. It made a mistake of disconnection from the tree. So then it started looking for ways to connect itself back. So first it tried to connect one of the fruits back to where it was. Just the fruit would not do. And tried to connect the flowers back to where they were. Just the flowers would not do. Then the wooden part, it wanted to connect that part. Just by itself it would not do. But when it noticed that it offered itself fully, every aspect of itself, then it started to feel like a pull which was automatically bringing it back to the connection with the tree. Every aspect of it, every leaf, every little branch, every fruit, every flower that it mistakenly took to be its own, it started offering that back to the tree and saying that, I want to offer you everything that I have. And then in that process, it started feeling closer and closer to how it was earlier. And then in the full surrender, it found its place again, back with the tree, back with true life. So that is Atma Samarpan, that is the human condition, and the returning back is the full Atma Samarpan, Atma Nivedanam, where whatever we consider to be ourselves is offered back to God, in love for God, in love for truth. So whether we call this Atma Samarpan, we call this Atma Nivedanam, or we call this, as Lord Jesus told us to do, that we must love God with all our might, with our mind, heart and soul. See, so everything must be offered back fully to God. So to remember that The branch by itself, no matter as beautiful as it may seem on the surface, without the tree itself, doesn't have any value, doesn't have any life. So the process of satsang is the return back of this, a return to innocence of this egotistical pride, so that we regain our true connection with true life, with true love. And our entirety of our being has to be offered to God. The entirety of everything that we consider ourselves to be has to be offered back to God. So as it is said by Tulsidas ji in the Hanuman Chalisa, Man kram bachan dhyan jo lave, which means that everything that we take to be our mind, everything that we take to be our actions, everything that we take to be our words, and everything that we can deeply contemplate God and truth and love, all of that must be full of God, and then He makes a home in our heart. Hidaya Vasau Surabhup. That God's temple, which is actually the connection point between the tree and the branch. Of course, the difference being notional and seemingly in part of this Maya and part of this Leela, but that disconnection is the very source of all human suffering, all human trouble. So to connect back to that source is the process of satsang.